Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. Today, in lieu of a retro review, since I don't have a whole lot of time today, since I'm still on vacation, this is my second to last day here, I want to talk about one of my favorite gaming memories, one of the biggest achievements I've ever had in my gaming career, and that is beating through the Fire and the Flames on expert difficulty in Guitar Hero 3. I'll talk a little bit about Guitar Hero 3 because I absolutely adore this game. It's so much fun. This was like the pinnacle of the pretend instruments era, the little plastic guitars you could play. I really loved Guitar Hero 3. I think they took everything from the first two that made the games really fun and engaging and kind of ironed out the little problems that they had. I think it was more precise in Guitar Hero 3 to hit the actual notes. I think hammer-ons were much easier to hit and a lot more forgiving in their windows. I think the star power mechanic was best introduced in, or best implemented in this game. I think the set list was fantastic. If you played on anything like other than the Wii, you had like additional tracks as well. I did play on the Wii version. I did not have a PlayStation 3 at the time, so I didn't get access to like the additional tracks, but I ended up beating every single track on Guitar Hero 3 on expert difficulty. That is with the exception of Through the Fire and the Flames for the longest time. If you are unfamiliar with Guitar Hero 3, Through the Fire and the Flames is the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. It is insane the amount of notes you have to hit. You have to be, at the very beginning, just the introduction section, you have to be holding down the green note and tapping very lightly and very quickly each note in a specific sequence in order to not mess up. If you mess up even a single time, you will lose your hammer-on, which a hammer-on is when you strum one time and then you can, as long as the notes are lit up, you can hammer on just without strumming. You can hit each individual note as long as you don't mess up. So for the Fire and the Flames, you're holding down the green button, you're strumming one time, and then you're hitting each individual thing really quickly. So it's like you're holding down the green button, it'll go green, red, and then as soon as you let go, it'll hit another green, then you can hit the yellow, and then the blue, and the orange, and so on and so forth. It's ridiculously hard, is what I'm trying to get at here. It is absolutely out of this world difficult, and I'm sure they didn't expect a whole lot of people to beat this. Probably expected a lot of people to take a very long time in order to beat this, or it'd be just impossible to do. But a ton of people were getting like 100% on this game. I remember seeing some videos from people 100%ing through the Fire and the Flames, and it was one of the coolest things ever. And I just wanted to beat it. My hand wasn't super big. I couldn't quite reach like the orange while holding down the green very well, and so I had a really hard time doing the opening sequence. And so I resorted to strumming a lot throughout the thing. So you can strum during hammer-ons as well. You don't have to just be doing it without strumming. So I would strum just in case I messed up, so that way I would have some chance of getting back into the game. And after a while, I got the pattern down enough, and I figured out how to do the opening sequence and get past it and get on to the next spots. Because the next spots I could do pretty well for the most part. There were, again, some down the line that got extremely hard and so incredibly difficult that you just lose your mind the second you mess up. You're just done. You can lose the game in an instant in Through the Fire and the Flames. That's what makes it so challenging, what makes it so rewarding when you finally complete it. I was 14 years old and I was playing in my basement. I think we were having after my cousin's wedding, I think we were having some kind of like luncheon in between, and they were getting changed at our house and everything. And I was playing Through the Fire and the Flames, just waiting to get going over to the reception and everything. And I was practicing, and I had a run going. I finally got it to where I was really kicking butt. I was so excited, and I got toward the end of the level there, the song. And I was, this is a very long song as well, super long, one of the longest ones in the game, really taxing. It's very draining your stamina. You have to have really good stamina for this. Again, I'm like 14 years old at this point, and my cousin, who had just gotten married, walks into the room, and he like comes up right behind me and tells me, don't mess up. I'm like, no, please don't do that right now. I'm so close to beating this level. Like, please don't do anything here. It was very funny. Yeah, I loved what he did there. It was actually hilarious looking back. I was so terrified that I was going to mess up because I was at one of the hardest sections at the very end of the song, that if you mess up, again, this is one that you could just die on. And fortunately for me, I strummed through. I got my fingering just right, so I avoided dying. I'd messed up plenty, but I hammered it out, got to the end of the thing. I remember hitting the last few, the and I beat it, and I just stood there for a minute, took it all in. It was one of the coolest things I've ever done. I don't know how crazy it is nowadays to have beaten through the Fire and Flames on Expert, but as a 14-year-old kid, that felt pretty fantastic, and I still remember it fondly to this day. I would love for them to bring back Guitar Hero in some form. I think Guitar Hero Live was an okay idea, but I don't like what they did with like the top and bottom sections. I liked the 5-button much better. I think Rock Band did it best when they revived the Rock Band franchise, just keeping the same structure. I didn't like the live guitar nearly as much. I would love for them to revive the musical instrument genre at some point and just don't overdo it like you did last time. We had too many games too quickly. We had way too many peripherals coming out. Just give us one game with a bunch of DLC set lists that we can buy for cheap, and we'll have a great time. I think a lot of people would really enjoy that, myself included. I'm partial to Guitar Hero over Rock Band, but I'd love Rock Band as well to make a resurgence. I just love to see this series return because it was so much fun, and I still remember it fondly. So that's what I want to talk about today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.